Hey guys, Warlock Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure for Warlock. This is Colossus, a more modern Colossus. Looks pretty cool. Definitely a more modern look, more modern outfit. Let's open him up. Alright guys, so here is Colossus out of the box, and he comes with a couple of accessories. First off, he comes with the Build-A-Figure pieces for Warlock. If you guys either follow the comic books or even like me, I only knew about him through the cartoon actually. I think it was the Phalanx, whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called, but not bad, pretty cool. This is how I was introduced to the character myself. Pretty decent looking Build-A-Figure though. A lot of detail, like all that. You want to call it hair, I guess. This is the head sculpt. Pretty funny. Not bad, but pretty nice. And this is, I guess, an extra accessory for his arm or hand. So that's pretty nice. Good details there. Alright, so next up is a new head sculpt right here, which has Colossus sporting a beard, which I love a lot. Also, not only that, his hair on top is a little bit longer, so you can see it going up a little bit. It's a nice look. And he is sporting this in the comic books. I believe still doing it right now. The last comic book I saw him in was the X-Men versus the Inhumans, and he did have the beard, I believe, so looks pretty nice. I like it though. It's a nice change of pace, a little bit different from your usual standard looking Colossus figure of the normal head sculpt. So it's pretty simple to pop this one off. You put this one on, and there you go. And like I said, I like it. You know, he looks different. It's a nice change of pace for your collection as well, sporting the new outfit, more modern outfit as well. You can't disagree with that. It looks pretty nice. And like I said, it makes your collection look a little bit more updated and a little bit different for once. Alright, so now taking a look at Colossus himself. I like it a lot. Like I said before, I like the more modern, updated look, the outfit and stuff like that. Paint job looks pretty good, looks pretty clean overall. I've seen worse. But overall, it's pretty good. Going down to the rest of the body, he has gauntlets right here on his wrists, which kind of hinder the articulation on his wrist, but we'll get to that later. But looking at the rest of the body, the head sculpt is a little bit, you want to say, brighter or more cleaner than his arms, which some people were complaining about, while the arms more have a dirtier or a gunmetal look. The head sculpts are just a little bit cleaner and lighter, so that could annoy some people right there. But going down to the rest of the body, I like it. It looks pretty good. Here's the back right here. It's a nice clean body. I like it. So I know a lot of people were comparing this figure to the Toy Biz one, the Marvel Select one. You know, everyone has their own preference. I like this one. I think it's a great size in between those two different versions. Actually, you know, it goes off opinion. But I actually like this body sculpt the best because, in my opinion, it's the most realistic. That's how comic books even today are drawn as well, a little bit more realistic. What I'm talking about is basically like the older figures with the older look. He has a really tiny waist, a huge V. This one has a nice V, but the other ones are really, you know, drastic. Those are great, don't get me wrong, but those are all depictions of Colossus from the 1990s drawings, you know. We're in 17. This is a little more realistic in my opinion, with a little bit of a bigger upper body, wider as well, and you know, this is how I see it. But if people like the 90s version, that's fine, but you guys can't deny that this is a more realistic body mold, if anything, you know. I don't know who you're trying to base off your views of how a perfect body looks like, but this is a more realistic body in my opinion. And not everyone has a crazy V and a big giant chest that goes out to here. You know, that's not realistic. It's not Barbie, man. This is how most real in shape guys look like. And if you guys actually work out, you would know that, right? But other than that, I do like this one a lot. And I've seen so many people talking about it, so many debates. Take it from me, you know, I work out a lot. I know how hard it is to maintain a body, how hard it is to grow certain parts of your body. Sometimes the body just molds certainly, so you can't do anything about it. But nowadays, 2017, you read comic books, they're a lot more proportioned, a lot more realistically, if anything. So this is why I like this one a lot better. Now going to articulation really quickly, has a ball joint head on a hinge. It goes all the way back kind of has a really long neck. Goes down a little bit, left and right, and pivots a little bit, so you have a nice range of motion right there. These shoulder joints or hinge joints are rotate all the way around, pretty good, in and out. It has a bicep swivel. At one point at the elbow, doesn't go all the way 90 degrees. On the wrist joints, they turn a little bit, pretty decent, and they do go forward a little bit, but like I said before, it's a little bit restricted from the gauntlet right here, or I don't know, I think it is, but I don't want to force it. Ab joint, let me zoom out just a little bit, goes really far forward, which is nice, goes back, pretty decent, as much as you want them to be. Waist swivel right here. He has T-jointed hips that go basically about that far up, which is not horrible, not bad at all for a big guy. They go not that far back at all though. Split-wise, that's as much as he's going to do, which is pretty acceptable. He's not going to do any splits. There's a nice thigh swivel right here. 2 points at the knee. Boot swivel, of course. Hinge at the ankle. And a pivot at the ankle. So pretty standard articulation for a Marvel Legend, and which is pretty nice. He's a big guy and they feel pretty sturdy. His knees aren't actually straight, they actually bend a little bit. I see a lot of people noticing that as well. This is probably the first time I ever had his mold. I'm not really sure if they actually used it for another figure. I think they have for some of the Builder figures, but this is my first time encountering it, which is not a horrible thing. You just make up for the, you make it up with the ankles, but it can annoy some people a little bit. Quick size comparison, here is Colossus with his X-Flame Kitty Pryde. Of course, in the comic books now, she has a thing going on with Star-Lord, but it's nice to see them side by side together right here. He is a big man. Now for another size comparison, here he is of some other X-Men and Marvel figures. We have Colossus, we have Cable right here, Deadpool with Wolverine. And a lot of people are, the debate is always the size. Is he big enough? Is he too small? I think he's just right. When he is in his form like this, the metal form, he's supposed to be around 7'5". If you think about this, Deadpool's like 6'2". He's about 6'6". You guys have to understand how big a 7-foot person really is. Some people like the Marvel Select one, which would be like up to here, way higher. You have to compare that with the rest of the people. It's way too big. My best suggestion is like stand underneath a basketball hoop, which is 10 feet high, which a lot of people think he should be for some odd reason. That's really big, really big. So I think he is just the perfect height and size right here. Now for another size comparison, here he is with some of the other Marvel figures. We have Punisher, Rogue, and of course the new Logan figure, which is a little bit bigger compared to the older Logan Wolverine figure, that is, but overall pretty comparable and nice looking right here. Alright, so another size comparison. Here are some bigger figures right here. Thanos right here, Gladiator, and Venom. Like I said before, I like the size right here overall. And I've said this before, comic books, even new figures, they're giving us more realistic body frames. Thicker in the wide, in the midsection right here. Not unproportionate, more proportionate bodies. And you're going to be seeing this a lot, honestly, even on the smaller normal figures as well. They're not like, like the old Toy Biz figures where they have the crazy small V body, tiny waist, and going out, like the Captain America figure. It's just how it is now. More realistic, better shaped, and I like the size comparison right here. And for another size comparison, of course, we have the epic match between the Juggernaut and Colossus, which we all grew up and loved. I like the size comparison right here. Juggernaut is a huge monster. He's big. Colossus, not as big, of course, but, everyone wants to see them going toe-to-toe right here. And, a lot of people don't like this one. They do prefer the Marvel Select, which is not horrible, but overall, I like the size of this one for Marvel Legends. And to cap off the size comparisons for fun, here are my two favorite versions of the Hulk and Superman. This is from the DC Films one with the new head, and this is the SH Figure Arts Hulk. And I like the size comparison right here. Hulk is a little bit bigger and taller, which is good. Superman is not as big as him, but he's around whatever, and I like how it looks. Alright guys, closing statements on this figure. Which one do you like better, the beard look or the non-bearded look? I actually like the bearded look a little bit better, a little bit more updated. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep saying that, but you know, he looks a little more epic looking, scarier, so I'm going to keep the bearded look on for now. Going to the figure itself, a couple of things to talk about. I have two of them obviously. So one of them, his shoulders are so tight on this one that every single time you move it, it cracks, no, not cracks, clicks. So you're gonna have to, if that happens to you, you're gonna have to loosen that up at the joint with a blow dryer or put it under hot water. Watch some of my old videos on how to do this. Also, going back to the whole leg thing, so I only knew about this because I saw other reviews on it and people commenting online that the legs are, you know, always bent basically. Which I just thought was normal. But going to this one, on my figure right here, this one's completely straight. So, it's kind of weird. The other one though is bent. And you can see at the joint, it's fully straight. This one's fully straight as well, but this one's bent, while this one is straight. So it's kind of weird. This one, on the other hand, you can kind of tell there's a little bit more give right there, but it won't go anymore. You don't want to force it as well. So these are straight bent legs right here, and on this one is bent, one is straight, so he does feel a little bit lopsided sometimes, so you're gonna have to bend it anyway to get it straightened out, or leveled at least. But that's just something to point out because some people might have different experiences with the figure. But yeah, so some key things to look out for, you know, when I was looking at these figures, I nitpick it a little bit sometimes. I hate these little gap right here, which annoys me. Also a little gap right here. If you can see that on this one, it's nice and flush. So you know, when you're looking out for your figures, take a look at them, see which one's the best for your own viewing pleasure. And that's about it, guys. So thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at wildlandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!